90% of people starting service businesses think that charging low is what is going to give them an advantage. I'm going to show you why that is wrong. Guys, your price isn't related to cost. It is a tool that you use to adjust the perception of the customer about your company. This is going to tell them the level of experience they're going to receive on whether or not they can trust your business. I own a gym equipment installation company, and we work with commercial clients like developers, hotels, gyms, and also we work with residential clients that just want to have a killer home gym setup. And after hundreds of installs, I realized something that most people missed. When you work B2B or B2C, they play completely different rules when it comes to price and value. So in this video, we're gonna break it all down, and here's what we'll cover. Number one, the psychology of B2B pricing. Why businesses care more about risk than price. Number two, the psychology of B2C pricing. Why perception matters more than logic. Number three, the mistakes that kill most service businesses when they try to do both. And number four, and finally, how to actually structure your pricing so that it attracts better customers and not cheaper ones. So let's get started with B2B. So keep this in mind. Showing up on time, finishing the job when you said you were going to finish it, having great communication, and also if you have any issues, fixing them as fast as possible. And I know this is going to sound all boring, but believe me, boring is gold in B2B. And there's data to back this up. There's a report that came from the CRM company called Hotspot. And in 2024, they came up with this report saying that 82% of big corporations, they rank reliability and transparency a lot more than price when they decided to renew the contract of a smaller company. So, and if you have one of these companies working B2B, I'm just gonna give you a simple formula. Remember, reliability times communication equals value. Now, like any formula, you have to remember that anything multiplied by 0 will give you 0. So proper communication, great reliability is gonna win you the trust these companies are looking for. And this is the way how you keep repeating the business. Now, that is all logical, structured, and predictable. But when you step into B2C, everything changes. When you're dealing with homeowners or consumers, logic goes out of the window. Remember, businesses buy to reduce risk. Consumers buy to feel something. You have to understand that perception is so important in this case. Starting from price, the way your website looks, the way you talk over the phone, you have to make them feel safe. Sometimes you might be the most reliable company out there, but how do the customer know that you're reliable if it's the first time they buy from you? So perception is everything. And the only thing that I can tell you is some people actually try to give the lowest price they can just to get as many jobs as possible. And unfortunately, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because a lot of the customers you're going to be getting at that point are not really the quality customers you're looking for. And unfortunately, in psychology, people subconsciously always assume that more expensive is always better. Think about it. I'm going to give an example. Let's assume that you have a quality customer and this person bought $10,000 in gym equipment. He got two different quotes. One is going to be $700 to install the equipment, and the other one is going to be $1,200 for the same service. Now, perception is always going to tell that the $1,200 is going to arrive on time, is going to offer the service and keep everything clean. They got your back, and whatever happens, any issues, they're going to fix it fast. So when we're talking about quality customers, believe me, the $1,200 is always going to win the work. That's why when we are working B2C, we always tell customers that we're not the cheapest one, but we are the safest and most reliable one. And remember, when you frame it that way, the customer stops comparing quotes and they start comparing trust. So we already talked about price and value when working on B2B or B2C. But you might be wondering which option is better or which one you use to get started. In my personal case, if I had to start my company from scratch, I would definitely start with B2B. And the reason why is the flow of work. A company is always going to give you more work than if you try to find work outside. The cash flow, logistics, being able to fully build the logistics of your company. The only sacrifice you're going to have to do is in pricing, and that is understandable. As long as it is a fair price, probably this is the way I would build my company. I would try to get my schedule as full as possible, and once I have enough work and enough cash flow, at that point I will get started growing the company and start on B2C. Now, the reason why B2C, the flow of customers are going to be a lot less. You got to build trust. You got to make sure the company is ready to give the perception that people can trust your business and the service you're offering. So for that reason, I would always start with B2B, build a strong foundation, and then after that, I would go to the next step, which is going to be working B2C directly. So at this point, you have already figured out which option you're going to use to start your business, if it's going to be B2B or B2C. But now you have to find a way to structure your pricing. One thing that is super important, and this is a mistake that I have made in the past, and probably a ton of people have made in the past, is devaluing your service. Now, it is very important that you understand that you cannot devalue your service. In my case, I'm just going to give you my personal opinion when I'm sending a quote. Before, let's pretend that I'm going to install the treadmill at a customer's home. And before let's say that I charge $500 and I still charge $500. This is only an example. Before I used to say treadmill installation. And down below in the description, I would say, this will cover moving the treadmill from the garage to the house, upstairs to the room. It would include a 1-year assembly warranty, and it would include the package removal. Now, if a customer asked me for a discount, that was a whole package. So I always had to remove, let's say, a 10%, and I was devaluing my service. This is definitely not the perception you want to give to the customer. So the way I do it right now is I still charge the same $500 for the treadmill installation, but I use a different line where I'm going to say a bonus, which is going to be a free 1-year assembly warranty. Then I'm going to have another line where I'm going to say bonus, free package removal. Now, the way I do this when a customer asks me for a discount, this is the way I present it to the customer. I tell them, hey, no problem, you're still going to get a 10% discount, but you are not going to have a 1-year assembly warranty anymore. You're actually going to have a 1-month assembly warranty. And also, the package removal is not going to be included. You are going to have to take care of the boxes or the packaging yourself. This way, the perception that the customer is going to have, and this has worked a lot to my business, is that the customer is not devaluing the service. The customer understands that they are getting less service for the money. And usually what happens, the customer ends up paying full price for the service because they don't want the uncertainty of not having a full 1-year assembly warranty, and also they do not want to deal with the packaging. So this is the way how you have to create the estimates when you send it to the customer. This is the perception you want to provide about your business. Based on the story that I just mentioned to you guys, there are 3 key principles for pricing that I always implement in my business. Transparency is number 1. It is always clear for the customer, and he understands what he's going to be paying for, what is not included in the quote, and also what he's going to be getting for free. The second one is framing. You always want to get the customer to understand what he's going to be getting with the service. In this case, they're going to get an amazing gym. He's going to have a great experience with our business, so he can focus on the end result and not what he's paying for. And the last one is margin for experience. You always have to be able to take in consideration the little things that are going to take the experience of the customer to the next level. In case of an issue arises, take in consideration having a fast service and getting it fixed as soon as possible. Follow-up text message after the installation is completed, making sure you get a feedback on how the customer feels about the service. Of course, all of these are going to take a little bit of time, so you have to take in consideration these little things that are going to add to the customer's experience. The bottom line is that you do not want to compete in price. You want to compete in trust. When you're working in B2B, trust means reliability. And when you're working B2C, trust means confidence. You have to understand that price and your company gives a perception. It tells a story. And you want to make sure that the story says that you as a customer are safe with us. And that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments below what topic you guys want us to talk about in business. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.